Hey Joseph, how you doing today?
I'm great, sister woman. So much going on. There's just so much out there. It kind of makes you crazy a little bit.
Yeah, I was checking my email today and I had quite a few things coming in that were similar in their offerings.
Right,
And I just kind of was twirling around in my head like, oh my gosh, I have objectives to fill, but you ask yourself, how many of these do I really need to go through? You know? And it's sometimes you kind of question yourself about, are you going in the right direction? And
right,
um you want to, this is sometimes, even me, I want to sometimes just walk away from it. And do have clients at times that tell me, I can't handle this, I don't want to deal with it, you know. But I realize that the best thing to do is to lean in. You have to lean into the process. But when you lean into the process, you have to have a plan when you lean into the process. So for me, what that looks like is, know what your objective is, right? And that's what I wanted to talk about today, is how do you lean into a process? You have to know what your objective is. What is your ultimate goal? So that if it's palatable, stick to what that ultimate goal is and don't sway from it. So when I started getting all those emails, I had to just go back and say, okay, Desi, what is your ultimate goal? Lean into the process and don't get swayed by all
right,
these other uh, things that are coming in and making it look like you have to go this way, you have to go that way. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you still need to have a quality life, right?
oh yeah.
Still need a
Uh,
quality life.
And also, I would assume, well, you know what happens when you assume. I'll make an assertion
Yeah,
that we need to also, in doing that, give up our attachment to what our vision of what that might be. There may
yeah.
be
So
something that comes along the way that makes you turn right instead of left.
that's correct. But let me tell you, the underlying this too is math. So in other words, if you look at the numbers and the numbers don't look right, even with the process or the products or the
Mhm.
system, then you need to get away from it, right?
Right,
You've got to look at the math if it doesn't make sense, right? And math could be things like, how long does it take to get to where you need to get to? Compared to another product, is the overhead worth the time? Is the time worth the overhead? All of these things you need to look at.
right,
Um, and so that's really been helping me within the last 6 months or so, is to pay attention to all of these different systems and lean into it, not run away from it, because it's a waste of time to run away from things that keep popping back up in front of you,
hmm
right?
yeah. I went back to college and I was sitting in a class the other day, and what I realized is there's a common thread between whatever we do. It's all about numbers. Are you willing to invest the time to market yourself? Invest. It's like when I was acting, and it was like you can't just send out your resume and your headshot once. It might be the hundredth time that resume goes floating over a desk.
Yeah,
Somebody's looking for that particular character, and they just happen to be the one. But if you didn't mail them, you're not there. You're not present to somebody seeing who you are.
that's right.
So you
Yeah,
got to be consistent. And what I realized was the numbers that I applied to real estate. Maybe if I'd applied those numbers to acting and approaching my acting, there would have been a different outcome, as
yeah,
opposed to just leaving it behind. Although I accomplished a lot of things,
right.
maybe there's greatness ahead for all of us.
There's greatness for every single person. Greatness is not compared from one person to another. We all have our own individual greatness. And it's not
Hmm.
about how many times you feel as if you failed, it's how many times you get up and you keep trying, right?
Right.
It's all about moving forward and keep trying over and over and over again. That's the important thing. You've got to lean into it. Lean into it and keep that goal going. And the most important thing is, if you're not happy, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing in the long run. You
Right.
have to be happy.
You'll
Happiness
attract.
has nothing to do with somebody else's definition of happiness. It's all about your own personal happiness. That's what you have
Yeah,
to
but
look at.
we also look at happiness as like something externally. Like when I get the right amount of money, I'll be happy. When I get the right house, I'm going to be happy. When that $1 million client falls out of the tree, I'll be happy. And it's like you need to be happy right in the moment, or you're not going to get anywhere.
You got to find happiness where you are. Unless you can't move forward, there's nothing to motivate you to move forward if you're not happy where you are. You've
Hmm.
got to find some great sense of gratefulness and know that there's a force out there that's keeping you where you are to move you forward. Unless if you don't have that, you have no energy to move to the next milestone in your life. It's like
Right.
yesterday when I went into my backyard, I actually posted it on Instagram. Joseph, if you saw my backyard, you're like, oh my gosh, Desiree, you got to do something. But all those weeds that are out, I mean, it's a mess. It's a hot mess, okay? But with all the weeds that are out there and all that, there's a flower growing in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And I took
Whether
that
it's flowers
flower
or
and I
not.
posted it on my Instagram account. Because I'm saying, regardless of all the weeds that are out here, there's a blessing that's coming
Hmm.
out of this. I found the happiness. I found the joy because I thought, I got to help Dad with all these weeds.
Right.
Got to help Papa. There's just weeds everywhere, you know? But the flower, the beautiful red flower that came out, made me realize God is in the midst of everything, even with all these weeds. So, got to look at that and realize we got to lean in, got to find the positiveness. And, you know, when it's in our face that there's an issue, work through that, because through means working through something, getting from one side to the next. You're
Hmm.
not stagnant, you're working through it. You're getting to the next part of the process, right? Look at your face. You're like, oop, phone rang.
Let me silence this puppy.
So, yeah.
I'm
What are
in the
your thoughts on
weed.
that? Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's like I was listening to. There was another group in the room planning out the project that we're working on, and I turned to the guy that I'm working with. I said, "They're in the weeds." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "They're in the weeds. They're not paying attention to the assignment. They're so in the weeds. They're not going to have a strong result."
Oh,
So, and it was interesting because the professor made a comment because he overheard what they were saying. And I looked at the guy I'm working it with and I just winked and I said, "What did I tell you?"
hmm.
They're just getting bogged down in the details and
The
they're losing
minutia.
sight of what they're there for. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I love about college. They from day one, they say, "Here's the syllabus. If you
Mm-hmm.
do this, you get a percentage for this, and this, and you get to
Mm-hmm.
the last day of school. If you've done everything I've asked you to do, it, you know, as opposed to like and of course you get graded, but it's like, prior to college, you're just making A's through F's,
Right.
but nobody tells you how to get there.
No, they're just teaching you how to think.
They're in the weeds.
Right.
Maybe we should look at
Exactly.
another definition called in the weeds, leaning into the weeds. But I do it myself. We all do it. We all have a tendency to get lost in the weeds,
Correct.
you know.
Correct. But you know what? If you can find the right support while you're in the weeds, because everybody ends up in the weeds,
Right.
right? Find the right people to help you to get out of that, because everybody has a skill set that can help you. You got to find the right people to help you to lean in. When you find the right support, that's the best part of life itself, is to find the right support to walk you through that process. And when you
Well,
have the right people to call on, that you can lean on to help you to lean forward, that's the best part of life, because life isn't going to stop when you fall in the weeds. It's not going to stop. It's going to continue going, whether you decide to stop or not. Life continues.
yeah.
So
And what I've realized going back to school is how much life is a collaboration too. No one person can do it on their they can do it on their own, but it's so much easier when you're in a collaboration with people.
yeah, you really can't, because you got to reach out for assets. You need assets. So you really can't do it on your own. You think you can. We're all a figment of our own imagination, really,
Yeah, right.
you know? So we need people. We need people. We need collaboration. It's a human spirit. To,
So summarizing all this up for me right now is like, sit down, lean into it,
yes,
look around you, and collaborate with people, because you know, in spite of all that we're inundated with, there's people out there that love you and care for you and support you and want to see nothing but the best for your good.
absolutely.
And those people don't want to do that, then it's like, go through your contact list again.
Yeah, and just get rid of those that are not and it's okay. You know,
Yeah,
it's better to know than to not to know. Don't take it
right.
personally. It's okay,
Yeah,
right? Don't waste your time trying to figure that out. Just be around like-minded people and move forward.
weed out the garden.
Weed out the garden.
So there's pretty
Joseph, this has
flowers.
been a great conversation. Look forward to us doing this again.
Well, we are going to do this. This is the first of a series I think we're going to put together
Yeah.
and make it available for people. And we'd appreciate your feedback. You can get in touch. How would people get in touch with you, Desiree?
They can go to DesireeSavory.com, or you can go to HoustonTrainer.com. Either one works.
Right. And you can go to Joseph at josephpetrie.com, and we'd appreciate your feedback. And also, if there's something you want to talk about, not that we're going to put you on the psychiatrist couch, but there are a lot of things that we can talk about and share with everybody and get some stimulating nurturing conversations circling around.
Yeah, make sure you give them your website too. You give them your email, but his website's josephpetrie.com too. So
josephpetrie.com.
yeah,
Correct.
and all of our social media platforms are connected to our website, so you can
Right.
connect with us there. But we're happy to be here for you guys if you want and you need any coaching, technology coaching, real estate coaching. Joseph is a real estate coach. I'm a technology coach. We're definitely not in the psychology business. We're just in the living business.
God forbid what would happen to you if I put you on my psychiatrist's couch. You may not like it. All right, love. You have a good day.
You have a blessed day too, Joseph. Take
All right.
care.
Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.